This next song, it's a song called Sacred Ground. But I wrote this song, I was doing a radio interview actually. This guy called in and I was talking about sacred sites. We're doing a radio interview, but sacred sites are something I'm very passionate about, protecting our sacred sites all across this country. So we were talking about, in particular, a place called Bear Butte in South Dakota. And this guy calls in anyway. He called in and he was just really, really ticked off. And he says, "What is it with you Indians?" He goes, "Everything's sacred to you guys. It's like, you can't touch anything. Everything's sacred. I can't even dig a hole in my backyard without getting your permission." I was like, man, that's not true. It's just not true, you know.
It's a place that we call sacred, a quiet, holy ground, a spirit sanctuary. You can feel the breath of God, and it's older than our memory. Heard our every word, 1,000 years our church has stood.
So he's like, everything is sacred and blah, 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 blah. And I said, honestly, I'm just asking you, do you or anybody you know go to a church of synagogue or a place of worship? And he's like, yeah, my whole family has been going to the same church for 70 years. I'm like, that's a long time. Good for you, man. I said, so our sacred sites are hundreds. We've been going there hundreds and some of them thousands of years. And the guy hangs up, he just hung up.
A voice from their creator. It's in the wind, the sun, the sky. And grandfather gave it to us and shares it for all time. The ancient place where we have prayed, revealing the divine.
And I was talking about Bear Butte, and people go there for Sundance, preparation for Sundance. They go there for sweats and prepare for Sundance, which is huge in the Lakota and Northern Cheyenne, all of the Western tribes. And Bear Butte, now, you may have heard of Bear Butte or may not have heard of Bear Butte, but I'm sure you heard of Sturgis, South Dakota, which is where Bear Butte is at. Sturgis is the home of the huge motorcycle ride.
Church is nothing more than a playground or a monument. We don't belong here anymore. Do we lay down and be silent in quiet disbelief? Or will we be?
And nobody just trying to stop the party. It's not that at all. And Sturgis is fine, but it's growing so much that it's moving out, and of course it's moving out in the direction of Bear Butte. And at the base of Bear Butte, I was there 2 years ago, we were handing out flyers and just asking the bikers, and I've been riding bike for over 30 years myself, so like I said, I'm not anti-biker, I'm not anything. I just want respect for Bear Butte.
Its meaning, and did I blink or turn my head? Our place is just as holy as four walls with stained glass. The miracle is healing. Our medicine is true.
During the day, they had helicopter rides, so you could rent a helicopter and fly over Bear Butte so you could watch the Indians prepare and sweat and all that stuff. It's just incredibly disrespectful. This is true. And then they have people in ultralights just buzzing Bear Butte constantly. It's like a spectator thing, let's watch the Indians.
Sacred ground. It's all sacred ground. It's all sacred ground. It's all sacred.
I don't know what it takes. I don't know what it will take. It's not going to stop in Bear Butte. But this is why I'm telling you the story, because it's like that all across the country. And we're losing our sacred sites and our sacred ground. And so I wrote this song to remind people of other cultures that our place is just as holy as their church. Well, it's a place that we call sacred, a quiet, holy ground, a spirit sanctuary, where you could feel the breath of God, and it's older than our memory. Heard our every word, 1,000 years of
church has stood 1,000 years, return to sacred ground, to sacred ground, to sacred ground. Well, it's our shrine in all the glory. It speaks to those who find a voice from their Creator. It's in the wind, the sun, the sky, and Grandfather gave it to us and shares it for all time. The ancient place where we have prayed, revealing the divine on sacred ground, on sacred ground, on sacred ground. How is it someone else decides? Our church is nothing more than a playground or a monument. We don't belong here anymore. Or do we lay down beside it in quiet disbelief? Or will we be the last one standing? Remember what it means on our sacred ground, on sacred ground, on sacred ground. When did sacred lose its meaning? Did I blink or turn my head? Our place is just as holy as four walls with stained glass. The miracle is healing. Our medicine is true. The vision's everlasting, and it's all we ever knew on our sacred ground. Our sacred ground, our sacred ground. It's all sacred ground. It's all sacred ground. It's all sacred ground. Oh, 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 hey, it's all sacred ground. It's our sacred. It's our sacred. It's our sacred ground. How is it someone else decides? Our church is nothing more than a playground or a monument. We don't belong here anymore. Do we lay down and be silent in quiet disbelief? Or will we be the last one standing? Remember what it means on our sacred ground, on sacred ground, on sacred ground. When did sacred lose its meaning? And did I blink or turn my head? Our place is just as holy as four walls with stained glass. The miracle is healing. Our medicine is true. The vision's everlasting, and it's all we ever knew on our sacred ground. Our sacred all sacred ground. It's 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 all sacred ground. Ground. It's a place that we call sacred, a quiet, holy ground, a spirit sanctuary. You can feel the breath of God, and it's older than our memory. Heard our every word. 1,000 years our church has stood, 1,000 years return to sacred ground, to sacred ground, to sacred ground. It's our shrine and all the glory.